Greetings, everyone. Welcome to Mazda U.S. College Prep Webinar, Session 21, the one-of-a-kind exclusive webinar celebrating Mazda Thailand's 72nd anniversary and ongoing support of Mazda U.S. College Prep Junior Golf Championship Tournament. Featuring 72 U.S. college coaches and partner organizations in 4 weeks. My name is Gaojai Naksakun, a senior advisor of AR, the Agency College Recruit Consulting Team. I will be your webinar host today. And with me is AR Senior Consulting Global Advisor, Kun Chanokna Kamkiti. Let's say hello.
Okay, hello everyone. Welcome everyone to the webinar series of celebrating 72 years of Mazda Thailand with 72 coaches. Thank you, Coach Angie, today for joining us to give us the insight information for all the audience, for the young talented golfer. Hopefully, the audience can get like inside information to get into the U.S. college there. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm glad to
All
be
right.
here.
Yeah. Let's all watch a short video recap previous Mazda U.S. College Prep Junior Golf Championship events first. It's time to meet our special guest tonight from Texas Christian University, head coach of women's golf team, Coach Angie Larkin. Congratulations on the great job at Mercedes-Benz Intercollegiate in Tennessee. Coach Angie Ravaioli-Larkin is the longest tenure head coach at TCU and across all sports program in the Big 12 Conference, having completed her 32nd season this year at TCU. Please tell us more about yourself and TCU. Then I will be asking questions for about 30 minutes. After that, I will open up for questions from the audience. Go ahead, Angie.
Yeah, welcome everybody, and thanks for having me. I truly appreciate it. I started my career at TCU over 30 years ago, and there's just I love it. I love coaching. I love Fort Worth and really helping young people reach their dreams on and off the golf course. So I'm not sure, what all you want me to cover, but regarding our program, we're Big 12, which is one of the Power 4 conferences. And we're located pretty much in the center of Texas. So TCU is a private school. It is about 10,000 undergrad students, so fairly small when it comes to the big universities within the United States, but has a big heart and big time athletics.
That's great. Let's start by asking you questions that I think a lot of people would like to know is about the recruiting process.
Okay.
What are the main qualities of the golfers you are recruiting for your team? What do you look for first?
Well, that's kind of a loaded question. I think I'm starting getting feedback. As a coach, really beyond, past the scores, obviously you have to have the talent of good golf and good scores, we're looking for the intangibles of discipline. I think hard work is cliche. So, really looking at, what your goals are, your vision for yourself on and off the golf course. We're looking for somebody who can handle both golf and academics. We want our players to graduate. We're looking for just the grit, the passion to play and exceed at every level, and really just able to exceed in a team environment as well. Golf is an individual sport, and this is one time in your life you get to play golf as a team. So really, getting along with others, and not just getting along, but really elevating others through elevating yourself. So I really look at a lot of a little bit of everything, and just having a high standard of excellence.
I see, because it's once you graduate, you're no longer playing in a team, right?
Yes,
So,
yeah. Unless you're
coach,
on a Solheim or Ryder Cup, then this is
okay,
one
that's
time. Yeah,
another.
yeah.
What works best for you to get to know the players, when you're recruiting? Do you read the emails, and how does the video highlights of the swings, to what extent do you use those information?
Yeah, I mean, I love that. Every athlete communicates a little bit differently, and so I look at everything. If the athlete likes to email, if that's easier, I get DMs through Instagram as well, or videos through Instagram. I look at that. Really just that constant communication, whether it could be WhatsApp text or regular text. So really just building that relationship with the players. We have so many rules, which I'm sure you're familiar with within the NCAA, where we cannot respond until a certain date, based on their year of graduation. So, I think it's still important that even though we cannot respond, that the athlete still markets themselves, if you will, even before that, sending videos, sending results, sending tournament schedules, so we know where they're playing when we are establishing our recruiting schedule for the summer. If we have 3 or 4 athletes playing in this tournament, then okay, I'm going to go to that tournament and watch. So, yeah, just, it's just like any other form of marketing. I think the more you can get your name out there, the better. The more you can
Mm-hmm.
get your name out there, establishing, who you are and what you're playing in, and really having it come from the athlete as well. I think that's really important to me. Parents can definitely help and make it look first class. But I like to hear from the players.
Mm-hmm. How early do you think the kids should start reaching out to you? What grade is appropriate that they start, like
Again, I think it's
communicating?
different. Yeah, I think it's different for everybody, but I would say definitely by their uh sophomore year. So, that summer, and then that whole year leading up to that June 15th before junior year, I think is really, really crucial. We have finished our 2027 class. So now we are looking at the 28 class. And so really
Mhm.
those 2028s, the information that we're getting on them is really, really important and beneficial to us, to be able to start making our list for the 28 class. And then even 29, I mean, I've heard from 2030s,
Mm,
and they might not be having the scores that we want, but I have their name in my, I have a whole folder on them. And then as the years progress, if they just send a couple things, I can see the development of that player.
Mm. Do you have international players in your team, and how do you evaluate them that
I
they are
do.
playing outside the U.S.?
Yeah, I have. Right now we have 4 internationals, all from 4 different countries. And then I have 3 US kids. So typically it's about half and half. I mean, I don't really, I don't discriminate, if you will. I just go for the best players in the world. I don't care where you're from. I love the diversity of culture, and I think it helps us all learn and grow and share with one another. And so really just looking for the best players in the world. If they're in Fort Worth, then they're in Fort Worth. If they're in, if they're in Thailand, then I'll go to Thailand. So, really, I'll look at different tournaments. A lot of the international kids are playing in the United States some. I understand that gets expensive, and so that's where it's very helpful to have recruiting services such as, you all and coaches really communicating with their coaches, whether it's their instructor or a national coach. And then I'll go overseas some as well throughout the year.
Mhm. So you have you come to Thailand?
I haven't been to Thailand to recruit. I've been to Thailand to play when I was playing professionally a long time ago. So got to play in Phuket. Yeah, it was beautiful. I loved it.
So please come again. And there are a lot of good
Okay.
players out here. Yeah.
I
When they reach
know.
out to you and they sent you profile, they sent you like videos and things like that. Um, what are qualities that are considered red flag to you? Is there anything like that when you look through their
I'll
profile?
not give you my secrets. Um, really, when I'm watching players, people think I'm only watching the golf swing or a score. I'm really also watching how they treat other people, how they treat their parents, how they treat their coaches, how they treat rules officials. I just always believe that that's eventually how they'll treat me. And this is my family, I mean, my athletes become a huge part of my family. And so I want players who have the high character and class. And um, I like to watch I don't like to watch a player make a double bogey, but I know it happens. And so I like to see what happens after they have a bad hole or after they hit a bad shot.
Mhm.
Their reaction or their bounce back, their grit, or do they give up, their body language, just those little things that are super, super important to me, that elevates a player beyond, say, another player is shooting the same score. Um, Attitude is just so important to me, how they carry themselves. I mean, I even look at, I don't know what happens in Thailand, but when a player finishes the round, do they carry their bag to the car, or does mom and
Mhm.
dad? Because I'm not going to
Mhm.
carry it. I'm not going to carry
Mhm.
5 or 6 players. So just really taking care and having ownership of your game and your things really tells me a lot.
Yeah, totally makes sense. Uh, then can I ask, like it sounds like watching them play in tournaments are really important. I mean, you probably learn a lot more by going to their game, but what about their academic performances, their GPA, SAT, SAT? Is that important for your team?
It is to a certain level. I mean, I want to make sure that somebody, um, can come in and not struggle academically. TCU is high standards of academics. So, making sure that they can come in and be successful in that realm. And not, you know, I just think everything goes together, right? So if they're struggling academically, then they're going to struggle on the golf course as well. So, looking at if they take an SAT or a TOEFL, making sure that they can at least meet the standards, having good grades, having strong work ethic with study and that kind of thing. So yes, it is important. Do they have to make all A's or, be the top of their class? No. I find with our international students that they actually do better in school, just because they're used to the rigorous demands of education that they get from their countries. So I haven't found the struggle at TCU.
Oh. Can you explain how do admissions differ between Division 1, 2, 3, and AIA? You know.
Um, I don't know how admissions at other schools work. I just know with TCU, you turn in an application just like every other student, even as an athlete. We do send a profile of our athletes. So, they are looked at it maybe in a different lens also, but they still have to meet those standards of excellence for TCU.
Mm-hmm. All right. Okay. So when, parents are concerned, like they are playing sports and they may not be good at academic, how much flexibility do you have with the admission office?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, they still have to be admitted through TCU. I mean, they still have to meet the testing standards right now. After COVID, a lot of schools, and TCU is one of them, they don't have to have the SAT requirement anymore. They extended that to the 2027 class. It's something that they're actually studying and researching to see if there is any correlation. So right now we don't have an SAT or ACT requirement. They look at their academic rigor, the school they come from. Our international students do have to take the TOEFL. I believe they have to have an 80. I'm not quite sure on the TOEFL. So that is a requirement for international students as well. And then they have to meet all the NCAA requirements coming in for their core classes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's like the process is it's similar, but in order to get to the team, that's what coach is playing a big role. What if,
Yes.
when they get in, what resources do you have to support student athletes in terms of academic performance to how to support their grades?
Yeah, so we, along with many others, we have a very, very strong academic, athletic program where they have tutors, writing specialists, learning specialists. They'll have an academic mentor. They have academic coaches. Our freshmen come in and they have an academic mentor they meet with once a week to help them go through their planning of tests and assignments and papers due, as well as, okay, here's your tournament schedule. You guys are leaving. Have you turned in your assignments? So really just helping our athletes become, just making sure they're organized and, really putting their best foot forward from the beginning.
Mhm.
So lots and lots of support within our academics for athletes as well. We have our own space with computer labs, study rooms, that kind of thing, as well. So very good setup. Like I said, TCU is smaller, which is a great benefit because our academic advisors we receive weekly reports from professors. So there's no surprises at the end of semester. So if we know somebody struggled on a test, we know right away so we can get them help. We don't wait till they're failing. Same with tutors. If the student's making an A in the class and they want a tutor, they still get a tutor. You don't have to be failing, in order to have tutors. We want our athletes to exceed at the highest level as well.
Yeah. I think that's the advantage of small class size. You get a lot more attention. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. What are the biggest difference between junior golf and college golf? Because they are entering from, they're playing junior golf tournaments and now they step up and play college golf. What are the differences and what do you think is the biggest transition?
I mean, there's so many. I think just being so far away from home and having to do your own laundry and having to pack yourself and having to get from point A to point B to point C on time. Um, so really just learning that, having that independence, learning how to say no, when your roommate wants to, go out on a Friday night and you need to go to bed because you've got qualifying the next day or travel the next day. So, it's just a time to, that they're growing in from, one level to the next, not only in golf, but in life, becoming adult and having to make hard decisions or, they're making decisions every single day, every single moment, to help them and guide them. So, um, it's really just a huge time of growth, I mean, everything changes, everything. Um,
Mhm.
and even if they're from Texas, you still come in and you still have different cultures. You're still in a
Right,
different city, so
right.
as- then you add coming across the world, now you're just, there's so many different variables. So there are so many changes and challenges, but it's just so rewarding and you just see these kids blossom into these adults that, can make tough decisions and I think that's one reason why so many businesses want to hire athletes because they are so disciplined, they are so organized, they are very
Mm.
resilient. Um, so yeah, that's a great question, but there's not just one thing, there's so much that
Everything.
that they adapt to.
Yeah, I guess it's what you brought up is quite interesting because a lot of kids would think, they are traveling from overseas, international kids, and there are a lot of adjustment. But what you say, yeah, even U.S. kids, they have to adjust as well because of that independence that, they used to be with their parents and now they are by themselves. What's a typical week look like for your team? The practice, workouts, and competition. What does it look like?
Yeah, I mean, week to week, I think it changes based on if we have tournaments, if we're traveling, but a typical week at home, we go Monday, Wednesday, Friday. The girls are in class till say noon. We get out of class at noon. We're at practice by 1:30. We go 1:30 to 5:30 if it's not a qualifying day. And then Tuesday, Thursday, we have workout in the morning. We go 5:30 to 7 a.m. and then practice from 9 to 11:30. And then they'll have class starting as early as 12:30. Some of them don't have class till 2. It just depends on the way their class schedule falls. So Tuesday,
Mhm.
Thursday, if they have afternoon class, they might have an evening class. Um, but on Tuesday, Thursdays, we've worked out, we've practiced, we've gone to class, we've done everything before, sometimes 3 p.m. Um, so that's our typical week. If we're qualifying, if we're traveling, then that sort of shakes up the week. We might have a Saturday, Sunday qualifying. We might have our travel days. We just got back from a tournament last night. So, we left on a Saturday or Friday morning, and then we got back Tuesday night. So those weeks will change, but when we're not traveling, that's kind of a typical week. We don't have very many typical weeks, but that kind of I'm at
Your microphone is off.
oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah, just
Did
briefly.
you?
Yeah,
Okay. Um, the
typical week.
yeah, our typical week just we go to everything. So team functions, that kind of thing. We're at everything. And we practice as a team as well.
Mm-hmm. Rather busy. I think the life of student athletes are triple
Yeah.
of what of what most students are. But
Yeah.
you mentioned qualifying. What has been the process of qualifying players for tournaments, and how competitive has it been?
Yeah, it's very competitive. And one thing I learned a long time ago is I believe in a reward system. So we have certain criteria to be exempt into the next tournament. And then if you're exempt, then you don't have to qualify. You go into the next one. So it's based on tournament performance. And then and then the spots we have available for qualifying when we have a good amount of time, I like to simulate a tournament. So we make sure we have at least three qualifying 18-hole rounds, and then the low, however many spots we have left. If we have 3 spots open, then we qualify for those 3 spots. It is very competitive. We have good depth and great players. So I typically carry between 8 players on my roster, which I like. I don't like huge numbers. I believe in quality, not quantity. But I do like a little bit of depth. We travel 5. That's everybody travels 5. So I like to have that, 7, 8 players to give us that depth of competition. But I also think to get better, you have to play. So I don't want 12 players on my roster or 9 or 10 players, because those players they typically won't get in the lineup that much.
Mhm, mhm. Are all your team members on scholarship? And has it been what you consider same opportunity for international students to get scholarship?
Yeah, so like I said, we recruit the best players in the world. We have, 6 full scholarships. TCU is very, very, very expensive because it is a private school. So typically we give close to 75 to 100% scholarship to our elite, players. Um, and and that's another reason why we keep that little bit smaller number as well.
And international students, do they get the same opportunity?
Yes, it's the same because it's private school. So whether you're from, next door or across the world, it's the same. It's the same cost to go to TCU.
Mhm. So, when you allocating financial aid or scholarship for new recruits, what are the factors you use to determine those? And like whether they play in big names tournaments, is that important? What kind of tournaments are in your radar?
Yeah, we look a lot at WAGR, the world ranking. We do. It doesn't have to be, big tournaments every week, but just, again, going back to the very first question of, looking at your scoring average, looking at your physical strength, your growth in the game, how you are developing, and then, that's the key to recruiting, right? Is figuring out who's going to continue to develop. That's the art of what we do as coaches. So you're still very, very young when we're recruiting you. You're like I said, we got the 2027 class. I mean, they're not going to be here for 2 more years. So we got to get it right. And so I'm looking at, are you good now? Are you a great player now? But I look at also who's going to be great, who hasn't reached their potential, who hasn't reached their peak. And that's something I learned from my coach is everybody wants the number 1 player in the world. The key to recruiting is recruit the player who's going to be number 1 when they get to you, and who's going to continue to grow and continue. They may not be number 1 their freshman year, but by their senior year, okay, now they're number 1. And I've got one of those actually. I've got a player from France who was not highly recruited, and we just kept looking at her. She kept sending stuff. We ended up getting her, and now she's number 54 in the world. So, really looking at those players. Yes, you have to be good now. But really, are you at your max? Are you at your peak? And again, going back to that first question, what are your goals? What do you want? What's your vision? Do you want to play professional golf? Those kind of things.
Pick
Your
up
microphone.
ค่ะ Your microphone ค่ะ
Okay, George has joined us, our
Hi,
CEO,
George.
George.
Hi, Coach.
Hi.
Hi. Well, thank you for taking your time off. In the season. You traveled. You
Absolutely.
just got back yesterday.
Having me. Yes.
No, thank you, and apologize again about my mistake, mixing up the time. So,
We got it.
apologize.
Got it
But
working.
Coach, I'm so glad that I meet you, and I'm so glad that I had a chance to saw your campus last week, and saw the place that you team practice.
Yeah.
Man,
Good.
Colonial is an amazing place.
Beautiful. Yeah, we got a little diamond here.
Yeah, no, I mean, as long as we've been in business 15 years, this is the first time, and I went to walk on your campus. Everybody's so nice.
Yes, it's beautiful. It's a
Well,
number.
thank you.
It's rated the happiest school in the country. The students, I don't know how they rate
Nice.
that, but TCU has the happiest students in the country. Isn't that
Wow,
great?
it
That's
could be.
nice.
I was present as a player. Okay, I tell you what. 15 years, I probably visited more than 300 campus.
Yeah.
It's only the first time the student actually came up to me.
Oh,
Can we help you with taking video?
oh,
Oh,
I was like surprised, and then apparently she was a swimmer. She is a swimmer,
oh,
and now we
good.
keep in touch. She said she wanted to work with us. Okay, perfect.
Okay. See?
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. But I read your background a little bit. I just, surprise. I mean, congratulations. You're the longest tenure coaches in the Big 12 in every sports.
Yes.
And
Oh, okay. Didn't know that.
and your husband also in asset management. So
Yes.
the whole
He's in
family is
Arkansas.
involved in
Yes.
this. Yeah. So, Coach, just one question for me. I know you have to leave. Your time very short today. It's since you'd been doing this for so long, right? And then you probably can tell right away this is a right fit for me. It's not right fit for me. All these student email you 40, 50 email a day, right? So, and only a few lucky to play for you, right?
Oh,
Because you have a small team. So what is the number one would you recommend or give advice to a parents like me, the parents in the call like this, when they go through this process, how they can, because everybody want the best for their children,
sure.
right? But for you, in terms of coach perspective, what would you be best advice for them during this process?
I would say, as a parent myself, to help guide your your son or daughter, help guide them. Don't do it for them, but just help guide them through the process. I think you as a parent and as an adult, you can kind of see through the glitz and glamour, the red carpets, that kind of stuff, see through that and really look at what's truly important, and help guide them with that. But don't send the email for them. Don't you know it's called helicopter parent. Like, don't be the one doing everything for them. Let them write the email. Now you might change some things in it, but have it come from their email. Have the communication be through the athlete, because eventually we're going to have the coach and the player they're going to have that relationship, and so I want to have that relationship with my players, with my athletes from the beginning. We recruit the parents, but at the same time, like, it's the athlete has to live this experience. And if they don't like it, like if they're not happy, at least it was their decision, it wasn't mom and dad's. They know what their son or daughter is motivated by. They know the type of coach that will help them, if it's a disciplined coach, or they know how their child will thrive, right? So I think you can help guide that, but just don't do everything for them. And remember, it's your son or daughter that has earned this opportunity. Yes, you've paid for things. Yes, you've done, you're the bank account, that kind of thing. But it's truly them that have swung the club and put in some really hard work. So it's not really about you as the parent. It's really about your child, and helping them grow and be in an environment where they can thrive.
Great. Well, great advice, coach. Well, thank you. Thank you. I've been telling the same thing, right? Let them for their dream, not the parents' dream.
Yes, yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
ครับพี่แก้วใจครับ Yes, sir.
All right. Yeah. Well, it has been a great discussion, and we have to conclude our session tonight. So, on behalf of Mazda Thailand and partners, I would like to thank Coach Angie Larkin from Texas Christian University again for spending valuable time with us and give us insightful information. It has been a pleasure. Tune in again, everyone, for October 10th at 8 p.m. Thailand time to meet Coach Meredith Jemison from West Texas A&M University, Golf Director Noah Kant from Moravian University, and Coach Charles Van Horn from Pellissippi State Community College. Please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube in order not to miss great contents and get in touch with us. Our contact information is on screen. As for tonight, thank you and goodbye.
Go Frogs.
Yeah, go for it. Thank you, coach. Good luck.